Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Resurrections. Last time we discussed the film's meta-criticism of the Hollywood construct, specifically Warner Brothers. Now it's time to return to the conflict that surrounds this franchise, the connection between Neo and Trinity. Time to analyze the reunion of the Matrix's power couple. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Before we continue our analysis, in one particular scene, one of our viewers mentioned that there was a small image of a cat visible on the right side of the restroom door where the "it is so much simpler to bury reality than it is to dispose of dreams" quote is written on. Maybe it is a little reference to the analyst's cat, a tiny detail that connects this scene with the new architect of the Matrix. The Deja Vu cat is a program that is used to change the Matrix.
Do you hear the bell?
We will talk more about the cat when the time comes. Now we begin with the scene of Trinity, or Tiffany, ordering coffee. Unbeknownst to her, this day has brought a change to her routine.
Afternoon, Tiff. The huge?
You know what's gross? I'm going wild. I'll have a cortado today.
Fly that freak flag.
Although the conversation between Tiffany and the barista seems casual, it is interesting that she mentions that she feels different today, as if she senses something new is going to happen. And then Tom pokes in. They both sit down at a table to talk. Tiffany tells Tom about the disagreements in her life. She feels that something's wrong with her life, but she continues to live it because that is the expected role of a woman.
How do you know if you want something yourself or if your upbringing programmed you to want it?
Let's discuss what Tiffany just said. The original Matrix films are loaded with philosophy and social criticism entangled within the film's plots. The social interpretation of this comment is that we live in a society with our roles imposed on us by the system, and we must comply with certain standards, because if we fail to do so, we become social rejects. Whether it is a political, religious, or life ideology, certain things are expected of us that we must follow, and if we deviate, we will pay with social rejection and marginalization. This is a sad fact that exists in all social circles. No matter who you are, no one can escape it. But that's not all Tiffany talks about. Another way to interpret what Tiffany said is that she feels that something is not right with her life. Although the system had groomed her to get married, have kids, and do things that a model citizen is supposed to do, she was not happy because inside, she knew that this system was wrong. And the most interesting thing she mentions is about being programmed to want things. The word programmed was purposely chosen. Tiffany says the word, and Tom understands it all too well since he is a video game programmer. Being programmed from childhood is what the machines and the Matrix do. In Matrix Reloaded, we saw the little TV screens showing events of Neo's life when he was a kid. The architect was monitoring every aspect of his life, even influencing and programming his actions. This is what Tiffany meant by being programmed, but the conversation is just beginning.
I pay my analyst a lot of money to answer such questions for me.
Although Tom's comments might seem to refer to the psychiatrist helping him understand things better, we know that this analyst is the one who's manipulating Neo. Tom saying that it is the analyst who answers the questions about whether we are programmed or controlled is quite ironic. It only shows the level of control that the analyst has over him.
I should get more therapy, but honestly, I'm too goddamn tired. Kids are exhausting, you know? So what's it like being a world-famous game designer? Must be amazing.
A lot of hours. Sometimes it is amazing. Most times, I don't know.
But you made the Matrix. Even I've heard of that.
Yeah, we kept some kids entertained.
So worth it?
This part of the movie feels like Lana Wachowski is having a conversation with us, as she kept us entertained with the Matrix for decades, and we appreciate it, of course. However, it is pretty obvious that she, like Tom, had no interest in continuing it. Tiffany proceeds to ask Tom if he based the main character of his game on himself, to which he replies that there is a lot of him in the protagonist, referring to Tom being Neo, and Tiffany sees the connection. Neo's story is about the transformation of a marginalized person who is distant from society and who is in search of their true self, choosing one's name and not being led by an oppressive system. There is much of Neo in Tom, as there is of Lana and Lily in Neo. Like their creation, the Wachowskis went through a transformation to find their true selves. Tiffany has another question about the video game protagonist.
There's a woman in your game.
Trinity.
Which is a weird coincidence also, right?
Kinda.
I like her. I like Trinity. And I dig her Ducati. Another coincidence, I love motorcycles. You have your analyst? I have my bikes.
The Matrix has created ways to keep people busy. Tom is a video game creator and spends a lot of time in his therapist's office. And Tiffany is a grease monkey, repairing and building motorcycles. The system is keeping them from their true purpose.
Well, I showed Chad a scene, and I was like, so what do you think? He didn't get it until I said, don't you think she looks like me? You know what he did? He laughed. And I laughed too. Like it was a joke. How could it not be, right? Made me so angry. I hated myself for laughing. I wanted to kick him so hard. Not too hard, maybe just hard enough to break his jaw off.
Tiffany expresses her annoyance towards her husband for making fun of her. She would have loved to break his jaw. Remember this little detail for the final video of this series. Then Tiffany gets a phone call and an incredible revelation occurs. The reflection on the table is of a blonde woman. This is her digital self-image. Although we, the viewers, Tiffany, and maybe even Tom, sees her as a beautiful woman with short black hair, everyone else sees her as a blonde woman. That's because the Matrix is hiding her as well as Neo, changing their appearance. Or, in Matrix technical terms, their digital self-image is so that no one outside the Matrix would recognize them. Trinity is a blonde, and Tom is bald. Their friendly conversation concludes with Tiffany telling Tom that one of her kids stuck a Lego up his nose. She bids him adieu and hopes to see him again.
I hope I see you again.
That look Tiffany gave Tom when she left the cafe was made to look identical to the look she gave him in Matrix Reloaded. The movie is making sure you notice that. Although Tom can't remember that life, his face clearly tells another story. He senses something familiar about her. Deja vu, maybe? Social expectation is the theme of this scene. How we pretend to be someone we are not, just to meet the expectations of others. And how deep inside us, we know that something feels off. This coffee talk between these two strangers is the soul of the Matrix, as we see the attempt of human emotional connection and the questions of reality. Next time, Tom meets his creation in the restroom. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the desert of the real.